Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Matt Mulls Over. This is a program program video created by myself, Matt Leonard of Mixed Nuts. Who knows if we're going to continue doing things? Hopefully we will. I have a couple ideas in the pipeline. Not sure exactly when we're going to get to those. But that being said, today we're talking about Pokemon. We're talking about my favorite Pokemon games, Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver, which came out back in 2010, I believe. And these are remakes of Pokemon Gold and Silver, which originally were released for the Game Boy Color, back in, I don't know, 2000, probably. And there's a lot of reasons why these are my favorite two Pokemon games, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And very off the bat, I think they really hit it home with how much love and care got put into the game. Very infrequently do I see a game that looks like it is this much love and craft put into it. You know, every area that you go into, every unique area has a little title card bringing you into the area. The music is wonderfully remastered, and they're just really fantastic games. So why I like Gold and Silver in the first place is that they improved so much over the first generation of games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, that no other game has come close to the amount of improvements and additions that Pokemon Gold and Silver added. They added 2 new types. They added Steel and Dark types. Along with that, they introduced Pokemon genders, Pokemon breeding, which included Pokemon eggs. Along with that, they added a day and night cycle, which during what time of day it was, you would have different Pokemon on different routes. You had an entirely new region, which, became the standardized thing. Here's a new region, here's all these new Pokemon. They didn't go overboard with the amount of Pokemon either. They added exactly 100 more Pokemon onto the 151 that were in Red and Blue and Yellow, and really gave a lot more life and depth to the Pokemon world. You didn't have just 2 or 3 fish-based water Pokemon. You had several more, and you had, all of these other cool Pokemon that you would expect to be in that world. So those are some of the reasons why Gold and Silver were so good. They also had, some really cool, unique features, like the whatever it was, like your Pokemon phone. I forget what it's called. Your phone, that you can listen to the radio on it. You can, call people. Like, you could just, call up Professor Oak and be like, "Hey, Professor Oak, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, you caught these Pokemon. Good job, kid." And that's so cool. Like, no other game, lets you just, call these people. I mean, maybe Gen 4 did, but I don't think it did, because I never played those ones too much. I never played Diamond, Pearl, or Silver. Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum, because I didn't have a DS until 2010. So I basically stuck it out with Gold and what was it? I had Gold and Red and Blue and Yellow. Those are the ones that I played a lot of. I also played the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy. That's pretty cool too. Although, for whatever reason, your character never stops looking like they're moving in that game. But again, Pokemon Gold and Silver, you have this whole new region, its own flavor, its own feel, and then once you beat the game, you can go back to Kanto. You go back to the Pokemon Red and Blue, and you can fight every single one of those gyms, get 16 badges, and then you can go up to fight the player character from their first game, essentially, on Mount Silver, which was a lot of content for a Game Boy Color game. A lot of content. They kind of shrunk down Kanto and stuff a little bit, but it's all there. So fast forward 10 years to Pokemon Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. You've had 2 generations come by. You've had remakes of the first games. Got Fire Red and Leaf Green, which were good games. They remastered those games, made everything feel a lot better, and helped alleviate some of the problems that Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald had, in that there was a lot of Pokemon that you couldn't get in Hoenn, because they switched how all of the stats worked, because actually, again, Gen 2 split up the special from just special to special attack, special defense. And then Gen 3, of course, added a completely new way that EVs and IVs worked, and not EV the Pokemon, EV the stat. Added a whole lot of new stuff. Changed everything and removed compatibility between the first 2 generations and Generation 3, which was a big controversy at the time. So, Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver, it's like, here's Johto again. Here's this absolutely wonderful region with its own flavor. It's so unique and just vibrant. Beautiful graphical overhaul, obviously. It's 10 years later. It's 2 generations of handheld systems later. You skip the Game Boy Advance, it's past the Game Boy Advance, it's the DS, and it's late in the DS cycle, so everything is, pushing those graphics as far as they can go for Pokemon, and they blow it off out of the water. Great art style, amazing colors, all of the Pokemon look great, and one of the big things that they did was they went in and modeled every single Pokemon to be able to follow your player character around the world, giving everyone that feel of being, in the world, and your favorite Pokemon, your pals following right there behind you, which is so cool. It can't be understated how cool it is, walking around having your, Typhlosion or Feraligatr or, anything, any Pokemon, any of the 493 Pokemon available at the time. It's like, you want your Pikachu following you? Be Ash Ketchum? Go for it. You want Raichu? Go for it. Anything. Dugong? It's really cool to have that. You can call all these people again. You have both of the regions available. It's crafted with a lot of love, and it shows. You have your day-night cycle beautifully created. They're great games. The Pokemon games are great in the first place, and then HeartGold and SoulSilver give you 2 of them in one, because you also have all of Kanto again. And I don't know about you guys, but that's a lot of content. That's 16 badges. I think you can catch almost like 400 or over 400 Pokemon in HeartGold or SoulSilver alone. The other 93 or however many it is, you can trade in from other games. And it's really, really good. The progression throughout the whole game. Johto feels great. It feels lively and lived in. Obviously, you have all of the, improvements that Generations 3 and 4 gave you. You have the GTS is a thing in HeartGold and SoulSilver, but you also still have all of the content that was there, along with all of the new content. You have all the berries. You have Oran berries again. But Gen 2 even had that sort of stuff where they had little apricots or whatever they were that you could turn into fancy Pokeballs. So it's just, there's a lot of content, and it feels so lovingly crafted. And along with this, they added what I'm going to argue is one of the inspirations for Pokemon Go, the Pokewalker, which I lost mine, as a matter of fact. I'm very sad about that, but they have it. And the Pokewalker, for those of you who don't know, was a little plastic thing that came along with your new game of HeartGold or SoulSilver. You went and bought the package, you got HeartGold, SoulSilver, and you got a little Pokewalker. Pokewalker was a little pedometer. You could transfer a Pokemon into it, and every step that you took was an experience point for that Pokemon, like how the, I'm trying to think of the word, like how the daycare centers work, which is awesome. It's just like, you just slide your Pikachu on, and then you just walk around, do your thing, and then you come back, transfer it back into the game. Your Pikachu now is, a couple levels higher maybe, and, it encourages you to get out, walk around, experience your day. And it's really cool. The Pokewalker also allowed people to... What else did it do? Oh boy. I think you could catch some Pokemon in it. Or no, you earn currency, and you could use that to catch various Pokemon and obtain some items and stuff that were a little harder to gather in the game. So you could kind of keep gathering things, and you also had access to more Pokemon through that. So it's just really cool. You know, that Pokewalker also gave probably a lot of people a nice little workout. You know, you go for a walk and you get Pokemon, your Pokemon levels up. Great choice on Nintendo's part there, and the Pokemon companies, and everyone that makes those games. Game Freak, awesome device. And that's kind of what I'm getting to here. Like, so the Pokewalker was kind of the first step. Maybe the second step. You could say Pokemon Yellow was the first step, and the anime obviously was the Pokemon Walker was the first thing that really moved towards Pokemon Go. You know, moved towards getting Niantic making Pokemon Go after they made Ingress, and you know, to use that technology to realize everybody's dreams. Not everybody's, obviously, but you know, to realize these dreams of, you know, being able to catch Pokemon and, you know, these Pokemon existing in our world. And it's really, the Pokemon Walker and HeartGold and SoulSilver stepped Pokemon up beyond what it had been. You know, it brought it to a level that Pokemon hadn't really been. I mean, as a phenomenon, yeah, it's always been there. But the Pokewalker, HeartGold and SoulSilver, all of the content, all of the Pokemon, having your Pokemon following you around in the game, just stepped it up one more, and that's, I think, one of the seeds to Pokemon Go existing. Obviously, the other one being Niantic and their Ingress technology, which is used in Pokemon Go. But HeartGold and SoulSilver, if you haven't played them, if you've never played Gold or Silver, go, please, buy it, check it out. They're great games. They hold up so well, and the music is so much fun. You can always, you know, go listen to the Pokemon like music thing on the radio there. You can catch so many legendaries in the game too. You can catch Lugia, Ho-Oh, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, Raikou, Entei, Suicune. I mean, Celebi's hard, you can't get that. I think that was only events, but I think by the time that I finished those games and gathered everything I could, I had like 14 legendaries in the game, which is crazy. So it's just, they're great games. I'm really looking forward to Pokemon Sun and Moon as well. The entire like media campaign and like the trailers and everything has not been doing it for me. A lot of it's just been kind of weird. The trailers are aimed at very strange people and reasonings, but the games themselves, you know, it's more Pokemon. I can't turn down more Pokemon. And I thought X and Y were the second best games in the series of Pokemon, you know, the second best generation. I think Gold and Silver are the best, the second generation in general, just because it added so much more to these games and really formed, it took the rock that was red, blue, and yellow and solidified it into, you know, the foundation for these games. So really, go play Pokemon Heart Gold and SoulSilver, you know, while you're not out playing Pokemon Go. If you're out playing Pokemon Go, be safe, be careful, you know, keep your wits about you, and good luck out there. Catch 'em all.